My name is Stuart Lefevre. I am the Regional Interpretive Specialist for Region 3 of Texas State Parks. Region 3 is Central Texas, so that includes Bastrop, where we're at right now. We're at Bastrop State Park, and I'm officed out of Bastrop, all the way to Western Central Texas. So think of Garner State Park, Colorado Bend State Park on the north side, and South Llano River State Park on the west side. Those are the limits of my region, so the Texas Hill Country and Bastrop and Bishop. So I got started in park interpretation working at, well, I'll start a little farther back. I went to college for fisheries and wildlife management at Lake Superior State University in my home state of Michigan. From there, I realized that I wanted to be in some sort of education, so I thought I wanted to be a professor, so I pursued a master's degree. Ended up not finishing the master's degree because I wanted to get out in the field, so I moved out to North Dakota and worked for the State Historical Society of North Dakota, which kind of deviated from my ecology background, but I always had an interest in history, and that's where I started really getting into interpretation and encountering visitors that came in. From there, I wanted full-time work. That was a seasonal gig, and so I moved to Texas because Texas has full-time interpreter positions, and I worked at Copper Break State Park for about 3 years before taking this job as the Regional Interpretive Specialist. So the Regional Interpretive Specialist is essentially interpretive support for the region of state parks I'm in, so Region 3. What does that mean? So we have field interpreters. Those are the folks that lead the programs at schools or in the parks when you go visit a state park. I help train those people. I help hire those people. I provide resources for them. I help them in the field with programming if they need help with programming. I help parks with their trail map needs, their trail sign needs, basically any sort of visitor interaction that's educational. I have some input on to make sure we're doing it right in Region 3 of Texas State Parks. Qualifications needed for this job. I think having experience in the field of interpretation previously, like in the field interacting with the public, is really important. I don't get to do that as much in this job as I would like. It's one of my favorite parts of my job, but I think that's critical to understand what the park interpreters and the park staff are going through every day in the field. What you really need for this job is to be able to work with a wide variety of people in a wide variety of positions, from the staff at headquarters where I work, or regional headquarters where I work, to staff at Austin headquarters, to the folks in the field. There's a lot of moving parts, and there's a lot of opinions on things and how we can best do our job to serve the public. And being able to work with all those people at the same time is a huge skill that can be pretty difficult sometimes. But just not being shy to be yourself, being willing to be outgoing, especially when I'm leading trainings. I think that experience in the field has really helped me be a better trainer, and I hope that the interpreters and the field staff appreciate our efforts as the Regional Interpretive Specialist team to try to help them as the best we can. A degree is required, so for our field interpreters and for my position, a bachelor's degree is required. Now, there's not a specific bachelor's degree that's required on paper. Bachelor's degrees are degree types that really help. Obviously science-based, like mine, fisheries and wildlife, anything in ecology, conservation biology would be good, environmental science would be good, but we have geologists that have become interpreters and in theory could become regional interpretive specialists. We have folks that have history backgrounds, archaeology, anthropology backgrounds. We have folks with communications backgrounds. So if you have that 4-year degree and you want to pursue a career in Texas State Parks and a job that requires a degree, don't sell yourself short if your degree is not exactly what people tell you the degree needs to be, because if you have the actual experience in the field to go along with your degree, then chances are you have some of the skills to go forward with it. But those are the degrees that are traditional in this field. I think that's the fun part about my job, is there is no typical day. Let's talk about what I was doing the past couple of days. So last week I was at a new park property helping to figure out how this new property is going to be open to the public, which is really exciting. This week I've been writing interpretive content. I wrote an interpretive sign for one of the parks in Region 3 that will hopefully be in the ground next year. It just depends. So much of it is mentorship and training for our interpreters. Sometimes I could be leading archery training for the public at a special event. Other days, it's a lot of editing PDFs on trail maps so that people don't get lost in the future. A lot of folks don't realize how many different things we do, and it's not their fault. A lot of times, some teams just see me in one way or the other, but the regional interpretive specialist is doing a huge variety of different tasks. And that variety is great for a person like me. I don't like doing the same thing every day, but I don't think everybody sees that. And it's really a rewarding part of my job, but it's definitely less visible sometimes. This is a pretty broad answer, but like one of my favorite experiences in this role is leading trainings are one of my favorite things to do in this job. But we have a training called Night Sky Training where we train our park interpreters to better lead star parties for visitors. And we spend a week out in the desert learning about the night sky and teaching interpreters about the night sky to pass that along. Not only night sky programs are some of my favorite to do. I come from an international dark sky park at Copper Break State Park, but just the landscape is incredible out in West Texas. And it's just the whole experience is really special and one of my favorite moments. Project management is hard. When you have multiple sign projects coupled with map projects, coupled with hiring new folks, the balancing of a schedule is really difficult in this job. I've gotten a lot better at it, but it takes some getting used to in order to make sure you're not forgetting something. And sometimes you are forgetting something, and it's important to communicate that with your team. But it's making sure you don't lose track of stuff in those bigger projects. I think being able to help new park staff, new park interpreters develop their skills, as well as mentoring our current and seasoned interpreters to make sure they're still providing the best experience and also providing the best written experience. It's making sure that, the visitor has the best possible interpretive experience at a park and they're getting something out of it, educational. Main thing is go out in the field and be a park interpreter, whether that's a volunteer at a local city park or a museum or an actual full-time position with Texas Parks and Wildlife. I highly recommend, if you can, get out there and go to the work and try to get that experience. Everybody's experience to get to their positions works differently, but for me, what worked for me was moving across the country a couple times in order to find the positions that would then help me build those skills and also just meet a bunch of new people. And this is a job that involves people. And if you are uncomfortable working with people, then you need to go out and experience people all over the country and all over the state and learn to appreciate what makes places like state parks special and what makes people in Texas special that want to come out and see these sites. Get out there if you can.